6.
Stay tuned because this week we take a look at the 31st Annual Opus Band Competition from last Friday, where students and the members of the community gathered in Bosco Student Plaza to watch different bands compete.
Also this week we have coverage on Fort Riley's Fall Apple Day Festival, where the community can come enjoy some fun activities with the family while also learning about the United States military.
Tuition's increasing here at K-State. Find out why next on Channel 8 News.
I'll have more for you on what to wear and the full forecast later in the show.
Is KKSU-LD, covering Manhattan, Riley County, and the Flint Hills, broadcasting in high definition from Kansas State University. You're watching Channel 8 News.
Welcome to Channel 8 News. I'm Alexis Lacey.
And I'm Cameron Redden Evans. Thanks for tuning in. Today's show we have coverage on the Fort Riley Apple Fest, and we have a live performance in our studio.
But first, we take a look at the new tuition increase that are affecting students at K-State. A tuition increase at Kansas State has caused some commotion with the student body. Kansas legislature and students gathered to discuss why state funding for K-State is decreasing and tuition is increasing. Channel 8 News reporter Brandon Fayback has more.
This past June, the Kansas Board of Regents approved K-State's request to increase tuition rates by 2.9%. State funding to K-State has also decreased over the past decade. The state of Kansas is struggling with close to a $900 million budget shortfall predicted for the next 2 years. The Kansas legislature partly reinstalled last year's 5.1% cut to K-State's state funding, adding 1.1% more funding for 2018. Each percentage of state funding for higher ed that is cut corresponds to about $1.4 million. K-State student Ethan Myers is concerned with the problem of tuition increase due to the fact that his prices for his major have increased as well.
In my engineering classes, we have to increase each credit hour by $15, which a lot of us are taking 18 hours. I mean, that adds up each semester.
I'm currently standing outside of Anderson Hall, where all tuition fees and scholarships are made through the university. Now, while some K-State students might think the tuition increase is a good thing, other K-State students might think it's too much to afford in the long run. Student body president Jack Ayers says he believes the tuition increase is a bad thing for current and future K-State students.
Fortunately, I think that there are a lot of students who are stuck between a rock and a hard place and have to choose the route in which that forces them to leave K-State, and that makes me sick. I mean, I lose sleep over that because that's not something that should be happening.
Kansas Senator Tom Hawk says that college costs are an investment.
Then you're able to pay that back. So that debt is not the most important thing. The most important thing is a quality education.
Average cost for a Kansas resident is over $4,000 a semester. For Manhattan, Kansas, I'm Brandon Fayback, Channel 8 News.
To learn more about tuition and fees here at K-State, you can visit kstate.edu for more information. After graduating, many students begin hunting for a career. Deciding what to do after earning your diploma can be challenging. This past Monday, students had the opportunity to hear a presentation on this exact subject. Scott Kraft, the deputy managing editor of the Los Angeles Times, spoke about his experience in this position as a K-State alumni and former editor of the Collegian. KSU is a familiar place for Kraft. His presentation was planned for Kedzie Hall Library, but eager students began filling the room. The lecture was moved to Kedzie 106 to seat the audience. Kraft told listeners about his travels, lessons he has learned, and how he has prepared for his career in journalism. He closed his lecture with a Q&A session. Scott Kraft is the first to speak in K-State's How I Landed My Job series. Stay tuned when former White House photographer Pete Souza speaks on the 13th of October.
Just you're learning every day. You know, a lot of times I'm thinking like, man, I just want to learn like everything like right now. I want to do it now. But I realize that like it's a constant process. You're always learning stuff every day, and so that's another takeaway that I think I took away.
The third annual class of Snyder Leadership Legacy Fellows kicked off another year by getting a great opportunity to coach fall sports for youth in the Manhattan community. I had the chance to take the field and learn more. The Maryland and Warren Staley School of Leadership Studies, in partnership with K-State Athletics, created a leadership development program that honors Coach Bill Snyder's work in developing a family of leaders, the Snyder Leadership Legacy Fellows. Being a part of this leadership program is actually getting a chance to put these leadership roles to the test by getting a chance to coach young youth in the Manhattan community.
Rex coaching was brought to the table last year, and it was a partnership because they needed volunteers to help out, help coach their participants because they had a lack of coaches.
It's pretty hard actually. It's a lot more strenuous than I thought it would be, especially coming up with plays, keeping them focused, keeping them disciplined.
More to the Snyder Leadership Program than just coaching, students are given numerous opportunities to sit within workshops and volunteer at other community events. Coaching these young kids is one of the main things this class of Snyder Legacy Fellows gets the chance to do. They also have an opportunity to sit within workshops, learn other leadership roles that they can have in the future, and they get a chance to hang out with Bill.
Coach Snyder's always been how do I want to put it? He's always been a huge impact here at Leadership Studies. He's been here since day one. This program is really, we're trying to have his legacy live on as far as the years go down the road.
For more information about how you can be a future Snyder Leadership Legacy Fellow and be an impact to a young kid's life, you can visit the K-State website or take a visit to the Leadership Studies building. For Channel 8 News, this is Cameron Rodriguez. Getting involved with the Snyder Legacy Leadership Program is a great way to get involved with the community.
Stay tuned after the break. We take a look at Fort Riley's Fall Festival from last Saturday.
And also get your update on the Sunflower Showdown and the latest news on the NFL's silent protest.
I know a spot that I love full well.
'Tis not in forest, nor yet in dell. Ever it holds me with magic spell.
I think of thee, alma mater.
We'll carry thy banner high. Long, long, may thy colors fly.
Loyal to thee, thy children will swell the cry. Hail, 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 alma mater.
Manhattan had its very first community talent show this weekend. Channel 8 reporter Jack Bresser has more from the event.
On Sunday, members from the Manhattan community came and gathered in the Larry Norvell Bandshell in City Park for the first ever Manhattan's Got Talent. The event was sponsored by Commerce Bank and gave talents a chance at the first place grand prize of $300. For others, it's all about being seen. This event allows members from community to come and hop up on stage and show off their talents. For the swing dancing group, the Swinging Spurs, it allows them to show off and entertain their home community.
Yeah, this is a great event. It's really exciting to actually have events coming to Manhattan now. That community, like you hear behind us, a free event where people can just come and enjoy the arts. It is great for our group. Our whole thing is promoting country dancing and the art of country western dancing. So we have a lot of other art people behind us, a lot of other performers that are doing a great job as well.
After all the acts had finished, they brought all the talents back up on stage to see who would take home the grand prize. And in the end, it was the Swingin' Spurs who would take home that $300. In Manhattan, Jack Bresser, Channel 8 News.
If you are interested in joining the Swingin' Spurs or just want to learn more about swing dancing, they have a swing dance club every Monday at 7 p.m. in the Union.
It is another fall day, which means another Fall Day Apple Festival in Fort Riley, Kansas. Our reporter Blake Reed visited from Fort Riley to show us a little more of what Fall Apple Day is all about.
Apple Day is an annual event where people from around the Fort Riley area can come enjoy some fun activities with the family, while also learning a little bit about their United States military.
Just Apple Days, it gives the general public and friends and family a chance to come out here, look at all of our capabilities, everything that we have, give them a chance to familiarize themselves with what we actually do on a day-to-day basis. Myself, I'm running the M2A3 Bradley static display, and you have all of these vehicles around here that everyone's running their static displays.
Here at the Fall Apple Festival in Fort Riley, Kansas, there's tons of activities for kids to adult. You can get on the helicopter, you can get in tanks, you can check out the gunners in the helicopters, bouncy castle, eat apple pie. There's fun for everyone.
It's nice. It gives us a chance to really test ourselves, share our knowledge with them, get them interested, get them involved.
Fort Riley estimated that there were over 7,000 people in attendance throughout the day at this year's Fall Apple Festival. From Fort Riley, Kansas, I'm Blake Reed, Channel 8 News.
For more information on future events going on at Fort Riley, you can visit the website www.riley.army.mil. Back to you, Alexis.
After the break, we will take a look at UPC's 31st annual band competition from last Friday. Also, make sure to stay around for your update of this week's weather.
Outreach is more than a goal. It's our land-grant mission. We feed and sustain an expanding population and cultivate strong, stable families, growing responsibility and leadership in our youth through a far-reaching network of research, resources, and educators. Whether you're in Kansas or across the globe, every life is worthy of an extended hand. What makes K-State Research and Extension so powerful? Purpose, outreach, you.
What a coach, what a program. Oh, they give him the dunk. He gets number 200. Now he's going to throw far side. Jordy's got it against the lead 40. Here comes Lockett. Look out. He can move. He was drilled by Reggie Walker. On the field, perfect throw. Pringle down the sideline. Touchdown.
Whoever said college is for kicking back never met our students. They're here for college beyond the classroom, for jumping off the bandwagon and into an environment that fosters career potential. Internships and opportunities that open doors and continue advancing through a global education. At Kansas State University, students become leaders who guide the K-State family into the future. What jumpstarts a career with limitless possibilities? Character, drive, you.
UPC held its 31st annual band competition.
5 musicians battled it out for cash prizes in the title of Fan Favorite. Channel 8 reporter Raina Garcia has more on the story.
K-State students and members of the community gathered in Bosco Plaza Friday night to watch 5 bands compete in the Opus Band Competition. Each band performed a set of 3 songs to impress the judges. While the winner would be decided by the judges, the audience was able to vote for their favorites.
Tonight was all about the music, and these bands did not disappoint. According to the crowd, Side Attraction was the highlight of the night.
Who was your favorite band tonight? All right, so it's definitely Side Attraction. Yeah, their energy was popping. The main singer, introduced the whole band. He was, just jumping around. It was easy to groove to.
My favorite band was Side Attraction. I thought that they were really original, and I loved, the energy they had on stage.
Although Joy Camp was declared the winner, Side Attraction walked away with the 3rd place title and the Fan Favorite Award. The support from the audience took them by surprise.
It was crazy. Honestly, I didn't think that we did that amazing. I thought we did good, but the other 2 bands that went after us and the 2 bands that went before us were really amazing too.
In response to all the positive feedback, the band had a message for their new fans.
If you guys really liked us, we have 2 EPs out on SoundCloud right now, and we're currently working on some new music and stuff. We got new equipment, so definitely just stick with us, follow us on Instagram or Twitter, Side Attraction Music.
The fierce competition between the bands made for an evening full of exciting performances. In Manhattan, Raina Garcia, Channel 8 News.
Those look like some entertaining performances. All the bands really gave it their all.
They sure did. The weather has sure cooled down this week, don't you think?
Definitely has. I wonder what the weather will be like this weekend. Let's take it to Channel 8 reporter Josh Yankovic to see if it'll stay that way this week.
Thanks, guys. Taking a look over at our national weather forecast for the week. Starting in Dallas, we have possible rain showers and temperatures in the lower 80s. Moving over to the West Coast, Los Angeles, always sunny, is going to be in mid-80s, and Seattle as well as in the lower 80s, trying to compete with the always sunny Los Angeles. It's going to be a little sunnier over there. Moving around to Chicago, we have, looking now at the Kansas weather map, it's going to be fair temperatures across the board again. Over in the western regions, lower 50s, and in the southwest, it's going to be down in the lower 70s. And lower 60s over in the eastern region. Looking at over at the metro towards Kansas City and the Jefferson County, Atchison County, and it's going to be in the lower 70s, as well as in Manhattan in the lower 70s as well. Turning now to our 5-day forecast, it's going to be 76 today with a low of 53. Looking at the rest of the weekend, is going to be in the 70s as well. We have a K-State football game on Saturday at 2:30 against an 0-4 Baylor. So if you're going to be going out to a tailgate, make sure to probably bring a jacket. It's going to be pretty chilly in the mornings. Taking a look at the rest of the weekend, taking a look at the rest of the weekend, it's going to be 80 on Sunday, and at the beginning of the next week, we're looking at possible thunderstorms and lows in the 65s. With having the football game, back to you.
Thanks, Josh. Stay tuned because when we come back, we take another look at the Sunflower Showdown and the latest news on some NFL players' silent protest.
And also a live performance in the studio, all coming up on Channel 8 News.
Outreach is more than a goal. It's our land-grant mission. We feed and sustain an expanding population and cultivate strong, stable families, growing responsibility and leadership in our youth through a far-reaching network of research, resources, and educators. Whether you're in Kansas or across the globe, every life is worthy of an extended hand. What makes K-State Research and Extension so powerful? Purpose, outreach, you.
What a coach, what a program. They give him the dunks. He gets number 200. Now he's going to throw far side. Jordy's got it against the lead 40. Here comes Lockett. Look out. He can move. He was drilled by Reggie Walker. On the field, perfect throw. Pringle down the sideline. Touchdown.
Whoever said college is for kicking back never met our students. They're here for college beyond the classroom, for jumping off the bandwagon and into an environment that fosters career potential. Internships and opportunities that open doors and continue advancing through a global education. At Kansas State University, students become leaders who guide the K-State family into the future. What jumpstarts a career with limitless possibilities? Character, drive, you.
Thanks for tuning back in. We didn't get a chance to cheer on the Wildcats last week, but there's still plenty of action in our sports report today.
Channel 8 reporter Chris Blasky has more.
Yes, there wasn't a football game for the Wildcats this past weekend, but we still have you covered. As a matter of fact, every year, intramural referees take the field alongside other students, and believe it or not, a lot of those referees are students. Now, we got a reporter, Colby Miller, has more on the story.
Players face off, snapping the ball. Student referees take charge of officiating intramural sports at the K-State Recreation Complex. For some, it is a fulfilling job that pays well.
Well, the main reason I got involved was for money, honestly, but it's actually been a really fun experience, seeing all these competitive football games, and it's a fun time.
These unsung heroes of the intramural fields have to balance a student workload while officiating games every week.
Well, I normally do about 5 games a night, and there's 5 days of games, so 25 games a week.
In addition to working long hours, some of the skills the intramural refs learn on the field can be applied off the field.
And it honestly helps with conflict management skills. So like when I turn in my resumes to people, they're like, oh, you're a ref? I'm like, yeah. They're like, how do you deal with students or players or coaches yelling at you and you just tell them the different things you can to calm them down, or how you explain situations to people when they're mad. And apparently jobs actually love hearing that conflict management skills that you have as an official. So
The referees have duties before each game, in addition to officiating the game itself.
Before every set of games, you get here early, you got to set up all the pylons and all the cones that mark every 20 yards.
The students often ref high school or middle school sports as well as K-State intramurals. In Manhattan, Colby Miller, Channel 8 News.
Thanks, Colby. And next time that you're on the field, make sure you take a second to thank those student referees for everything that they do. Now, two volleyball teams clashed in the Sunflower Showdown this past weekend. KU and K-State faced off in Ed Hearn Fieldhouse on Sunday, with both teams sporting an impressive lineup. K-State's own Brynja Vogel, number 18, was among them. Now, over 3,000 fans filled the bleachers overlooking the court, and KU took the first set with 25 points over KSU's 20. K-State answered with their own set, taking the set number 2, 25-21. Now, the student sections provided energy for the Wildcats, and KU did take the victory with 3 sets over K-State's 2, treating the fans to a close game and an excellent first Sunflower Showdown for the 2017 school year. Now, a movement that began last year with one NFL player has grown through the entire NFL. Last weekend, President Trump criticized the NFL for allowing one of their players to peacefully protest, for kneeling during the national anthem. Now, former San Francisco 49er quarterback Colin Kaepernick began kneeling to protest police brutality against African Americans. Following President Trump's comments about Kaepernick, the NFL players, along with their coaches, took a knee during the national anthem to defend the right to free speech and to show their support for the bigger issues. In response to taking a knee protest, President Trump stated that standing with locked arms is acceptable, but not kneeling. Now, tonight, the Chicago Bears will be taking on the Green Bay Packers, and many eyes are going to be watching to see if these teams are going to continue the movement. That's all we have today in sports. Back to you, Alexis and Cameron.
Thank you, Chris. Stay tuned to hear a live performance.
And an interview from a local band right here in Manhattan.
Plays it back for page 3. Swish!
Gold backing in, spinorama right around Burris. She scored. Martin sees an open lane, gets all the way to the basket. Chambers hits the 3. What an impressive play by Kawhi Middlebrooks.
Big Lou says get out.
When I hear the phrase giving back,
it means opportunity for me to do something for others.
Volunteering exposes you to different ways of life and different people around the world.
They teach you just as much as you teach them.
It allows you to understand the social issues that we face. The only people who can resolve those social issues is us, and that's starting with our community.
I think for me it means just really embodying what it means to be a part of that K-State family.
K-State athletics team with Courts for Kids, and we went to Costa Rica, a town called Leona Veja.
We went to Dallas to volunteer at Aid Services of Dallas.
I believe everybody should have education, and that's why I volunteer at a high school.
It's a family atmosphere, and we're here to take care of each other, and I think that K-State Proud and other things that students do really embody that family atmosphere that we've been taught since we got here.
What motivates Wildcats to give back?
Empathy.
Kindness.
You.
Local bands in Manhattan are trying to make a name for themselves.
Yes, and reporter Jack Bracer is here to introduce one of those bands. Jack?
Thanks, Cameron. Joining us in the studio today is Philosophy of Lions. Thanks for coming on to the show. So my first question for you guys is about how long have you guys been Philosophy of Lions?
We started as a songwriting project about 2009, but this iteration of the band has been playing live since 2016.
Excellent. So can you kind of tell us like a little bit about your guys' style of music and kind of what your sound is?
Yeah, we call ourselves Fusion New Americana, and that's really just because we don't embody one sound, one genre. We try to blend genres. Every time we play the songs, it's a little bit different. We love all kinds of music, blues and folk, rock, jazz, anything.
Excellent. And so I've heard that local bands in Manhattan have trying to increase the music scene here. Can you tell me a little bit more about what's up on that?
Yeah, in Manhattan, the music scene tends to ebb and flow a little bit depending on students and military coming and going. And we're really just trying to improve the quality and the number of bands and get a little more weird and have more venues and just more of everything here in Manhattan.
Are there any events that, any like cool events that people can go and see some of these local bands?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to see our full set, we're going to be playing tonight. We also actually just got booked for Little Apple New Year's Eve. And if you go to mhkmusicscene.com, there's all of the events up on a calendar every week.
Cool. And if there are any local bands out there in Manhattan that maybe just haven't gotten anywhere, what is your biggest advice to them?
They could start by showing up to other people's shows, making some connections. We've gotten most of our shows through just meeting other people and through connections.
Excellent. For all of us here at Channel 8 News, I'm Jack Bresser. Philosophy of Lines, take it away.
Grandma fell and I can start to tell that things will never be the same as back when I was 12. I don't care how and I don't care when, I just wish that I could hear Grandpa singing again. Time is a trip through those valleys and hills. I try to live for the way instead of the thrills. Time is a trip through those ruts and peaks. I try to live for the truth I was made to see. Grandma fell and I can start to tell that things will never be the same as back when I was 12. I don't care how and I don't care when, I just wish that I could hear Grandpa singing again. Wish that I could hear Grandpa singing again. Wish that I could hear Grandpa singing again. I wish that I could hear Grandpa singing again. Thanks, everyone. We hope to see you tonight at Bluemont Lounge. Hope to see you at New Year's Eve. And support your local musicians. We're Philosophy of Lines.